Hey ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. As always, it is Nick here, back with your daily crypto news and analysis, and today we're going to be talking about Ripple and XRP. So sit back, relax, and before we fully jump on into this video, I do just want to ask guys, could please leave a like on this video. It does help the channel grow immensely, and of course I always do greatly appreciate it. Now, I do apologize ahead of time if I do sound a little bit weird. I am under the weather a little bit. I am getting sick, so I do apologize for that. But overall, I do have a lot of things to talk about. So, obviously I'm not going to address, the prices or anything like that. I'm actually recording this a little bit ahead of time. And honestly, when we are talking about the prices, I don't even really acknowledge too much the weekend prices because, the weekly days are where we really kind of want to pay attention to. That's when the indices are open. That's when the dollar is reacting. And that's when pretty much, all, finance is open and we are seeing the major impulses that are really going to affect this market greatly. So right now, not really paying attention too much to the prices. I mean, we're still seeing altcoins surging on the 24-hour span and also even on the 7-day span. I did tell you guys on my, I believe it was my HBAR video from earlier today, that I did take a position on it was status. So this is a 2017-2018 gem. I do believe that this is going to most likely repeat that same run going back to 2017-2018. Of course, time will tell. I took a small position, so it's nothing too crazy, but if this does pay off, then hey, I 10x my cash. So I'm just saying, I'm still taking positions on some altcoins depending on how undervalued they are, where they currently are within their structure. But I will say this, XRP still looks like a clear-cut and dry winner for this alt run, especially when we are talking about those higher Fibonacci levels being to $10 to $15. But let's talk about the SEC, because it looks like the SEC is now under immense pressure and they are being pushed to the limit. So first off, we are going to be talking about library. So obviously the library case has been one that is going down in history, similar to the XRP case, because in 4 years of pursuit by the SEC, we've spent millions of dollars, provided millions of pages of documents, and spent 10,000 plus man hours. In all that time, the SEC has never answered a question or provided feedback of any kind. We want to follow the law, but no one will tell us what it is. The SEC says to hire lawyers. We hire very expensive, accomplished lawyers, literally ex-SEC, and do what they say. The SEC says that is wrong. We say, how can we fix that? They say to hire lawyers. Now, the reason why I bring this up, and the reason why I want you guys to focus on library, is because when we are talking about this entire SEC case regarding Ripple and XRP, it is focused on one major thing: fair notice. Was there a notice on, anything that they were doing wrong? Absolutely not. That's why when we are talking about the fair notice defense, that is such a big, crucial area for the overall, settlement of this case. Of course, is there bigger, things as well? Like, for example, those 63 Hinman emails, 100%. But I do believe that fair notice is where Ripple really puts the nail in the coffin and wins this overall lawsuit. Because even Library did not have any fair notice. You got to understand that the SEC is overstretching their boundaries. And in fact, we've seen some pretty alarming things happening from the SEC's side, and we're going to be addressing that. So first off, I do want to talk to you guys a little bit more so about, when we are talking about that fair notice defense. Here we have Ripple applauds Hester Pierce for blaming the SEC over lack of fair notice. Pierce said the SEC refused to provide regulatory guidance about how our rules apply to crypto assets, so the responsibility for lack of regulatory clarity lies at their doorstep. I want you guys to understand that they're being pushed to the limit right now. They have insiders now speaking up, understanding that this is clear cut and dry manipulation of the markets. I mean, honestly speaking, when we are talking about, Ethereum Gate, it really kind of talks more so about corruption, and it really speaks volumes on, how these, higher up individuals within these regulatory agencies, and even just in terms of like government bodies as well, it really does show you guys how they abuse their power. I mean, realistically speaking, I think that the outreach here, within crypto shouldn't be in the power of the SEC. I don't think that the SEC has boundaries within crypto anyway. So realistically speaking, when we're talking about regulations, we need a full-on, new framework to really go along with regulations within this area. And that is why I do believe that Ripple will, pretty much bring those, frameworks within, of course, this market. Now, also, I do want to talk to you guys about this. The SEC says crypto platforms that hold customer stashes must treat them as their own assets and liabilities. Now, I want you guys to understand how big of a deal this is. I have told you time and time again, get your crypto off of these exchanges. When we come over here and we go over to the exchange listings, all right, we're seeing massive amounts of volume over these exchanges. For an example, Binance, the number one with almost $22.6 billion exact in volume on the 24-hour span. Weekly visits, 24.4 million. And this is not even the most. I mean, like when we're talking about other exchanges like Upbit, 7.6 billion, CoinFlex, 5.6, OKX, 5.5. I mean, these are massive amounts of volume. And the reason why I'm talking about this and the reason why I address this is the fact that if you are holding your crypto on an exchange, it is not your crypto. That's essentially what the SEC is also saying here as well. This is why I tell you guys to put it in a ledger. The reason why I'm such an advocate for a ledger is it's something that I really do trust fully. If you guys do want to get a ledger, you guys are more than welcome to utilize my referral link. It's down in the description below and the comments below. I do not advise you guys purchase off of any third-party sellers. That includes Amazon because they could be tampered with and hacked. Your best bet is to go through Ledger themselves. Now, I don't know if anybody does have a discount code. I do not have one. I know at some point in time Kevin Cage had a discount code. You guys are more than welcome to go check that out. But ultimately, I do want you guys to play it safe and make sure that you are hodling your crypto in cold storage. Now, also, we do see her. I think she just let the cat out of the bag on some things. This is inside baseball stuff. She obviously knows what the plan is for CBDCs, etc. Keep your eyes on Senator Loomis, XRP holders. Listen closely to Senator Cynthia Loomis on this. This is pretty significant, by the way. And let me turn it down just so that you guys don't, go deaf. So let's listen closely to this.
Is there going to be a greater role under this framework for the CFTC in regulating spot markets? And if so, what, if anything, does that mean for the SEC?
Yeah, the answer is definitely yes. When you look at Bitcoin and Ethereum in particular, it's pretty clear to me that those are commodities. And the spot market will end up at CFTC and futures markets, which is why it's so fabulous to work on this with Senator Gillibrand, because she's on the Ag Committee that has jurisdiction over the CFTC. But the previous speaker you heard said there are something like 17,000 cryptos, and certainly not all of those are commodities. So we'll still be using the old Howey test from the 1940s to help define what is a security and what is a commodity. And the SEC will also have a huge role in this space. Additionally, when you look at stable coins, payment stable coins, and a possible CFDC, the central bank digital currency, those are going to be addressed in this bill also to a smaller measure. So, for example, if we had a central bank digital currency, it would likely not be like the digital yuan, which is more a direct to the retail customer type of asset. Ours would be function more like the current Fed, where our central bank digital currency would allow for faster and cheaper transfers of money among central banks, both internationally and within the United States, and the Bank for International Settlement and so forth. And then it would be the banks that would be the issuers of stable coins. And they would be pegged to the dollar as opposed to the digital yuan, which is a direct-to-retail product. So these are some of the things that we're kicking around in this bill.
And she says that it's just some of the things that they're kicking around. But honestly, I do think that she is, giving away a few of their plans. I mean, ultimately speaking, when we talk about CBDCs and things like that, I do think that there is a major plan ahead. I think that when we are talking about bridges being built, interoperability, and things like that between CBDCs, first off, I never support retail CBDCs. Wholesale CBDCs are completely different. She does mention Bitcoin and Ethereum possibly being, basically commodities. That's a pretty big statement. I think that when we are talking about the Howey test still being that major, utility for regulatory clarity around crypto assets, I think that that is such an inefficient way of looking at things. But I do think that this does give us a little bit of an insight on their plans for CBDCs. I mean, honestly, things are going to be rapidly shifting within that digital space very, very soon. And last but not least, I do want to talk to you guys about CBDCs. Ripple themselves making some major announcements regarding them, learn about the possibilities and challenges behind implementing a CBDC, and how to actually make them a reality for a more inclusive, equitable financial future. Now, again, I've always said when we are talking about Ripple and we're talking about CBDCs, I never support retail CBDCs. If Ripple wants to work on wholesale, that's totally fine. Of course, listen, if they're going to do retail CBDCs, they're going to do retail CBDCs. We can't do anything to stop that. But I will say this. I do believe that Ripple will hold a significant, role within, of course, this new digital age of finance. When we are talking about financial inclusion, we're talking about liquidity, we're talking about, connections being built. All of this goes hand in hand with CBDCs. I mean, we even see here, implementing CBDCs is no small feat, and we'd, be remiss to talk about them otherwise. That being said, it's important to take a closer look at what the real-life use cases, hurdles, and implications will be, not only for us as individuals, but for society as a whole, and how we can work together to take them from hype to reality. Now, of course, they are talking about things that this could benefit, efficient and cost-effective cross-border remittances, access to P2P loans, ability to establish credit history, and then, of course, the key hurdles here, which, we're talking more so about, other things in terms of use cases. We also see, however, there is a consistent set of practical hurdles to solve: education, user experience, identity, offline access, and security. In the first post, we focus specifically on education and user experience, but we also know interoperability is also a key, crucial area as well. But ultimately speaking, we are going to be seeing CBDCs. It's inevitable. I think that when we are talking about CBDCs and digitization of course, currency, aka fiat, it's on its way. And we really can't stop that. Of course, we could be part of the future by investing in the technology that will pretty much run these CBDCs. And, when we are talking about even what's next, we do see in our next post in this two-part series on how to make financial inclusion a reality with CBDCs, we will be looking at 3 other primary hurdles to overcome in order to bring these use cases to life: identity, offline access, and security. We are just beginning to scratch the surface of what a digital currency-backed system can achieve. And honestly, when we are talking about this, the potential here is, limitless. I just don't like the retail idea of it because, again, I don't support, digitization of retail currency. Now, with all of that in mind, I do hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys did, definitely leave a like, subscribe, to notifications on. If you guys want more free content, you guys are more than welcome to follow me on Twitter and join the free Discord down in the description below. As always, if you guys do want more content, my exit plans, trading indicators, stuff like that, you guys can go check out NCashOfficial.com. But with that being said, I hope that you all have a beautiful day or a beautiful night wherever you guys are in this beautiful world. This has been Nick. Peace out, guys.